welcome to another Amazon seller driving vlog. My name is Simon. I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller in the UK, and I do these vlogs every week where I talk about my Amazon business, my Amazon experience, answer any questions if people have left them for me, and just talk about business in general, business motivation, and all that kind of stuff, basically fun stuff. So thanks to everyone who's a new watcher. Appreciate you guys coming on. I say I do these. I've got a whole back catalogue of these. I've got a bunch of lives as well and things like that you can watch. Thanks to everyone who's also existing viewer as well. Appreciate you coming on. Just let you guys know, before we start, that I have a free Discord. You can go and check that out if you want to learn about Amazon. Loads of helpful people in there, over 2,000 people in there. I've got my website, fbamogul.com as well. Again, loads of free resources and articles being posted every week on there. And I think that's pretty much it. Well, I do other things as well, but that's pretty much in terms of the plugging of free stuff. So what's been going on with me? Well, I'm on £8,000 profit this month, just £8,000 profit. So it's been going okay this month. I genuinely don't think I'm going to hit £10,000, unfortunately. So October's one of those funny little months that you think would do better, but isn't. It's technically part of Q4, but I don't know. I think everyone's maybe holding their money back for Christmas. I don't know, it's one of those months where I always found it's a bit just normal, basically. It's not a month which is, it's not a month that basically just is a standout month, really. So, obviously we've got the budget coming in next month as well. I don't know what next month's going to be like, because, it could be very interesting. I think it's going to mute sales a little bit for Christmas. I just don't know what this Q4 is going to be like. But October, for me, has always been just an average month, nothing too fancy. Oh, yeah, and that's what I was going to say, by the way, as well, every Monday, every Thursday, 8 p.m. UK time, I am on YouTube for a live stream. So I do a Q&A, you can ask questions and hang out with me, basically, talk about Amazon. And if you've got any questions about Amazon as well, you can come on there and ask me. So it's awesome. And so £8,000 profit. I'm still pretty happy with that, but I wanted to kind of hit that 10,000. And I kind of, not that you guys have probably seen this yet, or maybe you have, I should have released... My release schedule's been a bit messed up on YouTube recently, but in my last vlog I said, you know what, I've decided I want to push now to that £20,000-30,000 profit month. So I'm going to commit the funds to do that. I'm going to commit the time and the effort and the sourcing and stuff, and I've already started to begin doing some more hardcore sourcing. Actually, literally this morning I was up early, I sat in my bed, I was looking through deals, looking at some new categories, which is kind of interesting, and just looking at new things, basically. I was like, oh, that's cool, and just doing some more sourcing. So Saturday, I pretty much had an amazing day. I spent all day talking about Amazon. It was one of my favorite topics to talk about, Amazon in business. So first thing, I hung out with a really good friend of mine that I talk to all the time, went out for breakfast. We had a really good talk about Amazon and things like that, and it was really good. Sharing ideas and stuff like, things like that, which is awesome. And then in the afternoon, I met up with, it was meant to be 3 Amazon sellers who all work out of one office together. There's just young guys in their 20s, basically, early 20s. God, it makes me definitely envious of youth. Anyway, these guys working all together. There's only 2 of them there this time, but just hanging out with them, went out for some lunch, talked about Amazon. And one of the great things I want to talk about here is networking. Getting a group together, whether it's in person, whether it's just on Discord together. Like the first guy I was chatting to, he's got a good Discord group of, I think it's 4 people in total, including him. Just pretty much being purely honest about everything and sharing leads and talking and just being purely transparent with each other. And it's really good to do that, because I think you grow more when you share and network together. And these guys who have got this office together, they work together, they share everything together, they share ideas, float ideas between each other. And it was great to see that. And also, we were talking about Amazon and things, last night, and yesterday, and I definitely learned some stuff from them, and I think they learned some stuff from me as well. I gave them a few little tidbits here and there. They gave me a few little tidbits, and it just shows you that you really don't know everything. You can't know everything. Not that I ever thought I did, but I consider myself a pretty good online arbitrager. And even from those guys, I learned a couple of new methods and new sort of strategies. One's like an alternate method on an existing method I do, and another one's a brand new method. So I was like, wow, that's it's it's just, that's why it's so good to network. And if you can, try and get a network of people together, a group of people, 2, 3, 4 people all together who are going to be honest with each other, share leads, and talk about ideas. Whether it's in person or online. Most of it, obviously, likely, is going to be on Discord. if you're, if you can get an office together and stuff like that, it'd be awesome. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, I mean, that's just it's just such a powerful thing. And I say, even just being with those guys for like 7 hours yesterday, 6 hours. I only planned on going down for a few hours. Ended up literally talking about Amazon for like 7 hours. It was a brilliant day, to be fair. I learned so much, and I think I obviously helped them as well. Helped them with some social media stuff, helped them with some Amazon stuff. Giving a few little tidbits here and there and stuff like that. And we were spitballing ideas around, and it was just like a really good day. And it certainly helps, as if Amazon and business is your favourite topic, which it is for me, and it is for those guys as well, I think. Talking about this kind of stuff, and it was just really good. So if you can, try, and it's very difficult to do, don't get me wrong, but try and get a network together. I actually thought about doing this in my mentorship program, and I was thinking, because in the mentorship program we've got 8 people now, but I think it's 8 people now. And I was thinking to myself, it'd be good if we could try and group some people together. The problem is, it's very hard to artificially do it, if that makes sense. Like, for me to try and group people together, I was basically just thinking to myself, like, should I do it? How can I do this? And I was like, well, it's one of those difficult ones where it's something that normally has to be more organic. I've tried it in my free group before, it just didn't work out. Because, if you have one person who just doesn't end up doing the work, then it just falls to pieces, basically. So it's one of these things that almost comes around by just asking, DMing someone, talking to them a little bit, and then you click a little bit, and then you get into a little group together, and a little network on the WhatsApp or Discord or whatever you want to do, and go from there, basically. So, I thought about trying how I could implement this in my mentorship program, because I do think it's an important thing, but it's one of those things which, again, it's more of an organic thing. It's not something I can really... All I can say to you is just go and try and do it, rather than actually force people together, if that makes sense. So, it's just one of those things I thought, could I do this? Because it is really powerful to have a group, a network of people you can talk to and share ideas and stuff together. It's really powerful. And so you just grow, more. You've got to be open, you've got to be willing to share things. Don't gatekeep anything, and because I think you just grow more as a group, as 2, 3, 4 of you, than you will by yourself. And it's just, like I say, yesterday, in like a 7-hour period, I learned so much from these guys. It's just crazy, new ideas, and then those ideas, can then lead on to other things or variations on themes, and, it's just it really makes you think, really. And, it's just, I don't know. So it actually did get me thinking, actually. So I met with a good friend of mine in the morning. We went to Brown's and had some breakfast, and I thought, what I might do? I had an idea. I said, what I might do? I might, because you guys, so most of you know that I offer free calls. So if you want to book a free call with me, just have a chat. There'll be a link in the description below. You can just book a free. Well, it's normally when you join my Discord group, you can book a free 15-minute call with me. You can just have a chat. You can come have a chat with me, and I'll help you with Amazon if you've got a few questions here and there. Oftentimes they go beyond 15 minutes, but it all depends. But how much we're clicking and stuff like that. How much time I've got other calls booked and things like that. But I was thinking, could I take this to the next level? One of the ideas that I kind of thought of was maybe I could allocate an hour or 2 on a Saturday morning, and say, look, I'm going to be at Brown's in Nottingham every morning for breakfast at 9 a.m. So if anyone wants to come down, let me know beforehand, and I'll be there basically in person, and you can come and we can talk about Amazon or talk about business or whatever in person for an hour or 2 or whatever it is, basically. Let's say 2-hour window, basically, and do that. I thought that might be kind of interesting. Let me know if that's something that interests you. If I said, look, obviously you guys have to travel to me, so for some of you it might be quite a far travel, for some of you it might not be. But if I did something like that, is that something you guys would be interested in? If I made myself available in person once a week for 2 hours, is that something you guys would take advantage of? If we went along and had breakfast at Brown's or somewhere, and they do a really good eggs Benedict or eggs Royale. Oh, it's so good. It's sourdough bread, poached egg, hollandaise sauce, and it has salmon on there. Oh, so good. Oh man, I have to watch my weight though, eating that once a week. But yeah, is that something that would interest you guys, that I do that? Let me know in the comments, because it's just an idea that popped in my head. I was like, 1, I really enjoy talking to people. 2, I really enjoy eating, if you haven't tell. But no, I also enjoy talking to people in person. If we can get 2 or 3, 4 people turn up once a week, different people, of course, or whatever. If you want, you can come every week if you want. You know, and as long as there's room, maybe I'll. Yeah, it's just an idea anyway. I'm not sure how it's going to work out. You know, and it's just an idea anyway. So I thought that could be kind of interesting. So if I did that, it's quite a commitment to do. But yeah, but at the same time, I was like, I like to give back. I like to talk to people, hang out with people, and yeah, to do that kind of thing. So yeah, it's interesting anyway. So and by the way, you know, if you I mentioned it just a little bit earlier. If you are interested in doing mentoring with Amazon, if you want mentoring, if you want the best chance of you know, having the best success at Amazon, whether you're maybe a brand new seller or whether you're just you've already started and you're struggling a little bit, or you just can't quite scale to that kind of like 5,000-10,000 profit a month, then get in touch with me. There's a link in the description. We can book a free call. We'll have a chat. We'll see if the program's right for you. It's a full-on one-on-one mentoring program. Just to give you a little hint about that. But yeah, we can talk about it, see if it's right for you. That's again part of this onboarding call. This kind of discovery call is that it's called a coaching. It's called a mentoring discovery call, and part of that is I'm evaluating you as much as you're evaluating me. We are getting to the point now where it's going to have to go down to a wait list. I think we've got a few more spaces left, and then we're going to go to a wait list. But it's not just in terms of like the fact there's a wait list, but I need to make sure it's right for you. You can obviously commit the time to it. I think you're right for the program. You know, you can actually afford it without crippling your business. Not, you know, it's not a cheap program, but it's not insanely expensive. Well, in my opinion, in fact, I think that right now the current price is too cheap. But anyway, that's what it is. But yeah, if you see, yeah, talking about price, by the way, of this price is going to go up on it. If you book a call with me before the price goes up, I'll lock you in basically until like the 5th of January. So you've got that option if you want. The price is going to go up on it. Not a marketing tactic, sales tactic. It's literally just the way it is. It's more work than we ever imagined to do this mentoring program. So the price has to go up to reflect that. Everyone doing it right now is freaking loving it, which is amazing. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yes. Anyway, you can book that call with me. I'll see if it's right fit for you, basically, and go from there. So if that's something you're interested in, link in the description for that. Awesome. Love to have you on board, basically. As you can probably tell, I'm very passionate about business and Amazon. You know, I love to share the knowledge, share the wealth, basically. And actually, something that's interesting. The guy said to me yesterday, "It's like, oh, you know, they said to me, oh, I don't think I could ever do a mentoring program because, like, I would always be tempted to like gatekeep like some knowledge because for them, obviously, Amazon's pretty much their main business, and they're like, oh, I wouldn't want to like jeopardize my profits and stuff." And I said to them, well, for one, I don't think you really can do that. I mean, it's difficult. You can't really gatekeep stuff when it comes to, if you're going to do a mentoring program, you really can't gatekeep stuff. I don't think so anyway. I don't think it's right and morally correct. But I also said to them, look, I'm in a different position to you guys. And I'm being truthful here, guys. I am 100% honest in everything I do. Try to be anyway. You know, Amazon for me now, it was my sort of full-time business that I did, and it was my income, and it still is my income, to be fair. You know, but for me now, it is also a marketing tool to get people onto my, not necessarily for the mentoring program, it's a marketing tool to get people in my Discord, into watching my channel, you know, going onto my website, and it's just getting traffic, I suppose you'd say. So for me, I don't gatekeep anything. I literally teach it. And just to be truthful with you as well, I was teaching not all of it, but like I was showing like Cogito, for example, which is, you guys know I'm huge on. I was literally showing you my method, the exact method I was doing to source products for free on YouTube. So I was literally already teaching it, because those guys asked me, it's like, oh, do you have any other secret methods on Cogito? I was like, no, but I was literally like, what I do is literally what I teach on YouTube. So it was an interesting thing they said, and I was like, no, I actually do not gatekeep anything. I literally teach everything I know. I don't hide any methods. There's about 12 or 13 sourcing methods that we teach inside of the mentoring program, and nothing is held back, basically. I literally show you my seller toolkit, show you some of the interesting products I've sold, and you know, different categories and stuff like that. But I literally show it all. I don't gatekeep anything. Just trying to think I'm trying to think in my mind here, is there anything I'm actually gatekeeping? Genuinely, I'm just thinking in my head here. As far as I'm consciously, I'm not gatekeeping anything, but now trying to think, is there something else that I don't teach in there? To be fair, there is not a lot of knowledge I do have, which I would say I don't use myself, but will be considered a grey area on Amazon. So that's probably stuff that I do gatekeep, because I'm like, I don't want to teach it, because everything I do in business and Amazon stuff is all legit. Like I say, I treat Amazon like the golden goose. You got to look after it, you got to treat it well. You're in this business for the long term. And yeah, I'd say the same thing to my mentees as well. I'm like, you've got to take a long-term view here. This business is going to make you £10,000 a month in, let's say, 12 to 24 months, okay? Depending on your budget and stuff like that, your capital. Okay, so if you know that your Amazon business is going to make you £10,000 a month in 2 years, would you then risk that business by doing something silly early on? Like, if, that's the way you got to think about it, basically. So, but yeah, there's nothing I gatekeep in terms of like the things that I do, basically. I know a lot of dodgy stuff on Amazon and stuff like that, but I do not do it, and I do not teach that. Yeah. Anyway, enough about that. Anyway, but yeah, I just wanted to just having a little think there. I was like, oh, is there actually anything subconsciously I'm gatekeeping? Now I think about it. These guys, this thing's not scripted, guys. I literally just talk as I'm driving, so you guys see me. Sometimes I'm just like thinking, I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, no, there's nothing that I'm consciously gatekeeping, but I teach everything, basically. I should give you access to my SDK if you want. You can have a look, I've shown people my SDK. I think most of my mentees have seen my SDK now, shown them some interesting stuff. And anyway, yeah, so if you're interested in that anyway, link in description. Kind of interesting anyway. Oh dear, that was a long sort of pitch. But yeah, so I don't know what else I can talk about today, but we obviously covered networking, how important that is. I guess, again, I keep bringing back to the bloody mentoring, so I apologise, but in that you are kind of getting a little network already. It's not an organic one, but you are kind of getting I think it is a good thing, because in one regard, because you're in a group, and part of it, by the way, you get access to a Discord community just for the mentees. You get to talk to the other mentees, hang out with them. So in that regard, you are with kind of like-minded people who are willing to pay money for a program, that are obviously very committed to doing that program and taking Amazon seriously. So in that regard, it's quite a good thing. But yeah, obviously this can be done organically as well. But yeah, so we've talked about that. We've talked about a little bit about the mentoring and stuff, and me not gatekeeping and knowledge. And why I do that. One, I don't think it's morally correct. If I'm doing a mentoring program, you can't gatekeep stuff, basically. You cannot hold stuff back. Now, I'm a big believer in that you need to teach a man to fish, not like give them the fish, but we kind of do both in the mentoring program. You kind of get given fish and also get given a fishing rod, basically. But obviously, yeah, learning the methods is more important, because that's the thing you're really paying for, is learning the methods, learning how to be self-reliant yourself. But no, Amazon's been going well. I mean, I'd say I'm now getting to that level. And I said before, Amazon for me, well, it's very nice that it makes me £10,000 every single month. This month I'm not sure I'm going to hit 10,000, and that's gross profit, by the way. If I do 10,000 gross profit, I'd say knock off, just to be fair, 2,500 for fees and expenses. So probably about 7,500 in my pocket, basically, or not in my pocket before tax. Anyway, as a salary, you say, basically, or dividends, whatever you want to do. It's £7,500, net profit. But now I want to take that to that next level. I say it's a little bit of a marketing tool for me. Still makes me money, which I'm happy about. But I want to push it to that £20,000-30,000 profit months, and I'm going to be working really hard to do that. So obviously Q4, actually, I'll be honest, I've bungled Q4 a little bit. I've messed up Q4, and I'll tell you. Yeah, this is not scripted, but I don't want to keep harping on about it, but I was focusing on the mentoring side and building that up. So I've now kind of, that took away from my Amazon business. I'm a bad multitasker. I can only focus on doing one thing at a time. And the mentoring program, making sure that was shit hot, basically, making sure that was an amazing program, and obviously helping the mentees has been my primary focus. In that regard, I've somewhat fumbled the ball a little bit on Q4. I don't think my Q4 is going to be as big as it could be. I know I've not been sourcing enough, because my bank account is insane, because all the money's been going in, I've not been spending it. There is still time for me to recover this, absolutely. But I think I have maybe fumbled the ball a little bit when it comes to Q4. So my Q4 is probably not going to be as high as I want. But yeah, going into the new year, my goal really is to get back to, I think my best month's been about 18,000, No, I've done 20,000 months. Yeah, December last year, I think I did like 25 in 1 month. I think 25,000 profit. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, I can't remember now. But yeah, basically my goal is to get to consistently outside of Q4 an average of 20 to 30,000 pound profit months. And I'll be talking more about that in my vlogs and stuff and how that's going. But pretty much it always comes down to essentially just sourcing more. Now I can source. I've got enough money to probably do that. I might have to put a little bit more into the business. But essentially now it comes down to time sourcing pretty much. That's what it comes down to, sitting down and spending more time sourcing, buying more products, and then building that. It is simple as that, realistically. It really is as simple as that. So, Amazon, again, is a simple business, but not an easy business. It's a simple business in that, and guys, I've spoken to well over 100 people now, probably way more like 200 people. And I always see the same stories from people. One, when people get into Amazon, they always start with between £500 and £1,000. This is like the proof of concept. Then they're willing to put more money in afterwards. Two, the biggest problem that every Amazon seller has when they first start out, and even ones that have literally been doing Amazon for 2, 3, 4 years, I even spoke to someone who'd been doing Amazon since 2017. The next big problem is they can't source at all. They don't know how to source. Biggest problem I see. Pretty much why there's a mentoring program. It's pretty much 80% sourcing, although we do teach some other stuff. So that's a big problem that people have. They can't source. They don't know how to source. But there are so many deals out there. There's so many ways to source. It's just crazy. Then once you've gone to solve that problem, which is not, it's like I say, it's simple but not easy. Once you solve that problem, your next problem becomes capital. You always run out of capital, essentially. You've got more deals than you know what to do with. You run out of capital every single month, and it's frustrating because you want to grow your business. Then you kind of get to maybe the phase 3, which I've not actually talked about a little bit, where time becomes an issue. Now, when you start sourcing a lot, okay, and finding loads of deals, especially the online arbitrage, it actually is quite a chore to sit there and just order them. It actually takes up more time than you might imagine. Let's say you find a new site, for example, not that this happens very often, but you've got to create an account, put your billing address, put your delivery address, make the order, and then sometimes you have to loop the orders. You might be sat there for an hour just looping orders on that thing, or maybe creating new accounts. Even if you've got an existing account, sometimes you have to loop. But basically, normally on these deals, there's like a limited quantity, or you have to create new accounts, whatever you have to do, basically. But just sitting there, making sure the details are right, and just doing the orders, you get a 2-factor authentication code from Amex, or whatever you're doing, it actually takes quite a lot of time, to be fair. Now, at some point, I'd like to get a purchasing VA to help me with this, but that's a real trust thing, that is. You've got to give them access to your credit card and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it actually becomes, that next problem becomes time being the issue. And it's obviously having that time to, your sourcing, which is great. And then once you source, you then got to basically have the time to buy the leads. And that actually is a real chore. And I've had it in the past where I've had more leads than I've had time to buy them. I'm not even joking. I'm looking at this big list of leads, and I'm like, when I had VAs and stuff, and obviously things I'd found, I'd be like, oh my God, I don't have time to go through all these and buy all these. It's crazy. So that's kind of like a natural phase that you get. And I guess that is one kind of downside, I suppose, to doing online arbitrage at that kind of scale. Now, there are loads of different strategies or a few different strategies, I should say, and things that can help you with this when it comes to scaling to 20, 30,000 a month, than just like ordering loads of stuff. But yeah, I think I've talked about them in the past as well. Like one, for example, is like, let's say you want to scale. Let's say you're doing £10,000 a month, you want to scale to 20,000 a month. I mean, the simple thing I'd say to you is obviously like, look at how much you're ordering and just double what you order, if you can. So if you normally order 10 units, or you normally order, like say, 2 months or 3 months of stock, well, if you just simply double your orders, then that can be quite a good way to improve your profits. Now, it's not always that simple, but, as a very basic thing, that's a way to do it. Another way is to increase your ROI. This is a good one when you've got limited budget, is like increase your ROI. If you're always running out of money every month, you're sourcing 30% ROI items, well, start ditching 30% items and start sourcing 35, 40% items. So, anyway, yeah, it becomes a bit of a tricky thing. I think with OA, I know guys that do 30k, 40k, 50k a month, doing a mixture of online arbitrage and other methods, but like A2A and things like that. But yeah, it's actually, it's one of the kind of downsides, I guess, of OA is that when you get to that 20, 30,000 profit a month, it actually takes a lot of time. You've got to spend a lot of time sitting there ordering. I actually genuinely think at that point it might be worth, and again, I was speaking to the guys yesterday, getting a UK employee at that point whose job is to sit and make the orders, that's their job. Are you going to trust a VA in the Philippines? You might do, to sit and make orders for you with your credit card that's got a 100k limit, I don't know, or you can get an employee in the UK. Yes, you might have to pay them a couple of grand a month, but there's obviously more of a trust element, and things like that. So it's interesting anyway. But yeah, that's, I guess, one thing I need to make sure that I'm building really good systems and processes in place when I scale to 20, 30 months. And go from there, basically. But yeah, it's interesting. And now that I've been doing more sourcing now, been buying more OA again. I've been trying different strategies, trying different, I've been trying different categories. I've been actually trying a good variety of different things, from like low ticket to high ticket, and slower sellers and faster sellers and all sorts of stuff. So I've been playing around with all kinds of stuff, and it's been really interesting. And like this morning I was sourcing, I was trying a new category. I was like, oh, this is a really interesting category. And I was looking at, and I was gauged on some of the brands, because I've not really sold this category before. But I was like, oh, it's kind of interesting actually. And I was like, there were actually slower sellers. I wouldn't say these items were the fastest sellers. They were probably somewhere between 1 and 4 times a month, but they were like £100 profit per unit. So it was really interesting. And I just looked at two guys like racing past each other, and then oh god. Anyway, yeah. So but yeah, it was interesting this morning, just sitting and sourcing, and and I'll be honest, guys, when I got back into doing, so I've been really hardcore Cogita. I definitely let OA lapse a little bit. Not gonna lie, when I get back into it, I was a little bit rusty, but now I'm like back in the swing of things again. Finding deals left, right, and centre. Just so many opportunities out there, and yeah, there's honestly, and then hearing, learning a few new strategies from the guys last night as well. I was like, oh, okay. One was a theme on one I already do, so I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. Another one was kind of a new strategy. It's like, oh yeah, okay. So yeah, it's like, how many strategies are there to do OA? Probably like 30. I don't know. I know like 13 or 14 of them. Actually, to be fair, gatekeeping, I won't be able to reveal their strategies. That's one thing, I guess, to be fair. So that was told to me in confidence. That is something I would never be able to share in the mentoring program. But you've already got like 12, 13 things that I can teach that I have know myself, basically, that I've not just been given and are confidential. So yeah, but no, I guess that's, in terms of, okay, but that's, people tell me things in confidence, I'm not going to reveal those, that's an important thing, and I've told them things in confidence, they've told me things in confidence, so yeah, it's a good little sharing exercise. But yeah, that's something I wouldn't be able to necessarily teach in the mentoring program, but there's still plenty of stuff in there to, well, basically, the mentoring program gives you all the skills to run your business professionally, which is one thing. Make sure you're avoiding all the leaks in Amazon, which is another thing. But also scale your business to the point where you can make 10,000 a month, basically. Now, I'm not going to say you can make more than that, although I think you can. But and I don't take people on, by the way, that are already making 10,000 a month, because I'm at the 10,000 a month kind of thing. I had one guy who wanted to join it. I was investigating anyway, and he was already making 10,000 a month. And I was like, I'm not sure I can. I didn't feel comfortable taking him on because we were kind of on a similar level. Now, if he'd come in and said, I'm doing 10,000 from private label and I want to learn online arbitrage, I'd be fine with that. But he was doing 10,000 in online arbitrage, so I was like, But no, definitely the mentorship program, get to that £10,000 a month, no problem. It will be capital that will always be your limiting factor. Once we teach you the methods and stuff and all the things, you'll be running out of money every month, you'll be frustrated, it sucks, you run out of money, but then that's where patience and things like that comes in. But yeah, anyway, what have I talked about? I don't know. Anyway, I've been rambling on about all sorts of random stuff today. This is just, this is all off the cuff, no kind of planning on this kind of stuff. And it's... But I do enjoy these talks, to be fair, doing these vlogs. And I know you guys enjoy them as well, which is good. So, that's been good. I really appreciate it. So, I will probably wrap it up there because I'm running out of things to talk about. But again, if you want to do mentoring, link in the description. If you want to do join my community, it's free. link in the description. If you like the idea of me making myself available in person for an hour or two, once a week or once every few weeks, leave a comment below. Let me know if you think that's a good idea or not, whether it's something you'd be interested in. I live in Nottingham, so it'll probably be in Nottingham. It will be in Nottingham. If that's something you're interested in, check that out. I've got a website, fbamogo.com as well. Basically, I've got loads of free resources out there. You don't have to do mentoring with me. You don't have to pay for mentoring. You can learn it free in the Discord community. I've got the website. I've got my YouTube channel as well. You know, you can get free mentoring from me by just coming on every Monday and Thursday, 8 p.m. UK time, and just asking me questions. You know, I'm there. And by the way, all my previous lives are available. If you go to my YouTube channel, go to lives. You're already on my YouTube channel. Go to lives. You can see all my previous ones, and you can re-watch those. And there's some good gold in there actually. So yeah, but yeah. Anyway, massively appreciate it. All links for the stuff in the description. And yeah, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you guys next one. Thanks, guys.